There's no other way that I can say it. Over and over and over, more and more, my prayer practice causes me to give up what I think it must occur. Give up my way of seeing things. I absolutely know, I believe that a master teacher like Jesus caused, welcomed, allowed healings, answered prayer to occur around him and through him because he did not see a problem to begin with. I imagine him spending so much time immersing his consciousness in wholeness, in oneness, in the idea that if God is for me, nothing can be against me. I mentioned that last week, I believe. If God is for me, what a wonderful premise. God is for me, and I believe God is. If that is the truth, then nothing can be against me. So where is the prayer? The prayer automatically is in the belief that something is against me, that something is wrong. What a funky concept. I really get, like, even as I'm saying it, I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting this through because I know your human self, but there are things wrong. There is suffering in the world. There are bad things happening out there. And I would say to you, the mind that you're looking through is the mind that you can work on. Your mind at this level of development, if I may so humbly say, is probably not designed or equipped to go heal massive waves of poverty in the world. You can contribute, for sure. But right now, where we are, to do the work inside, to do the prayer life and say, help me to see from wholeness. Help me to see and be love. And then from that place, whatever action occurs, I will take. The prayer equation is right understanding plus right thinking plus pure feeling. Embodiment equals answered prayer. So right understanding. To understand what we're praying for and from. And even sometimes the for is off base. What we're praying for. I'll give you the most prevalent one that I hear very often. When people are suffering from debt, when people are suffering from financial burdens and struggles, what they will often do is pray for abundance. They will pray for prosperity, thinking that if they just had enough money, that it would be fixed. And so they're praying for this, praying for this, and it's not working because the problem that is underneath debt is self-hatred, self-rejection, and the healing of that is forgiveness. The healing of that is a higher self-esteem. There are belief systems that live underneath this thing called debt. And so to make it, well, I'm in debt, I just need more money. No, that is not true. If you have more money, you will eventually, if you have a debt consciousness, all of that money will go into that hole, and you will land where you began, because the core issue has not been healed. We have that in a lot of areas in our lives where we're struggling with compulsions or addictions or mental obsessions that keep looping, causing you suffering. There's something deeper going on underneath. And a saying that is coming to mind in this moment is the idea is that I will not let you go until you bless me. It's something like that. It's from the Bible. I hate when a Bible quote comes on half in my mind, but it's the right idea. And the idea is that this problem or this suffering isn't going to just disappear so that you can have magic. It's not going to let you go until you get the blessing from it. There's a blessing that is sitting in the middle of it. And very often, as I mentioned in the beginning, my biggest struggle is to get myself humble enough to see what the mental obsession is, what the character persona that is leading me. There's aspects of the false self that keep coming into play, and I've got to get myself in a centered, peaceful enough space so that I can see what is the real prayer. What is the real prayer? I need to understand that. I need to understand where I'm praying from, and I need to understand what the actual prayer is. And that takes some time, some contemplation, some support from a practitioner, some prayer partners, some patience, some willingness to stay in the practice until all of a sudden you go, oh, I see it. And it had been there the whole time, and it took you X amount of time to see it. But whenever you see it was the right, perfect time. Are you with me? Right understanding of what it is we're praying for and where we're praying from. Right thinking is a very, very important part also. It says, if ye abide in me and my words abide in you, you shall ask what you will, and it shall be done unto you. If you abide in me, if we will take the time to align our thoughts and our words, abiding in the consciousness. When abide in me, it says abide in wholeness, abide in love, abide in faith, abide in freedom, abide in the spiritual essence of who you are, abide in the one life. Spend time anchored in that, and our thinking has to be in alignment with that. Now that's kind of a tough one, because if you're like me, you're crazy. Your thinking is crazy. It goes all over the place, and it moves fast. It moves really fast. So you know, a beginner will say, "Oh my God!" So I've got to just like watch every thought I have, which causes enormous panic immediately. I don't think that that's our work. At a certain point of your development, you're going to be able to catch your thoughts more quickly. But if you're at the point where they're just flying and you don't even catch them until 3 hours later, then you have got to get a prayer life immediately. Because prayer, it fills full the energy. It turbocharges. I say this very often. Prayer turbocharges your thoughts. When you're in alignment with your wholeness, and the thoughts that you think in that alignment are 1,000, 100,000 times more powerful than your fearful craziness that occurs thereafter. And I believe if you have an active prayer life, that it will cause a lot of those crazy thoughts to disappear, and it will create an opening for you to begin seeing them and building a relationship with those that are ready to be healed and changed. But what happens so often is we speak a prayer here, and then within a very little time, our thinking goes over here. And there's no way that you can possibly fulfill your prayer if you don't have a mental equivalent, a thinking nature that is matching it. You can't speak a prayer for success and then spend the whole day contemplating your failure or your inadequacies. It won't work. Your thinking will cause the prayer to be halted. You can't speak a prayer of harmony and acceptance and then spend the rest of your day blaming and pointing fingers and calling everything wrong in your day. That's that process. We go back and forth, and that causes our prayers not to be fulfilled. I can't speak a prayer of love and then hate and attack somebody with my thoughts or my words. Do you see how that is a conflict? It is a conflict. We can't fool the laws of nature, the laws of spirit that we use in our prayer life. We can't say, let me have this, but I'm going to be this. You know what you're doing? We talk about this a lot. You can't ask for a prayer to be fulfilled, and in the center of that prayer sits the idea, but don't change me.